two of you. I'm very curious because most of your part is CGI, right?
Yes. It's a fusion of two different kinds of CGI, I guess. It's more traditional motion capture for the body, and then we used almost a new technology that's never really been used this extensively before for the facial capture, and they fused them together. And so it was quite extraordinary to sort of.
This is actually the first time we've ever met, Dan. And you're lovely, by the way.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
I really love being with you.
There's nothing beast-like about you in real life.
No.
Oh,
it's very charming.
So you didn't really see anyone on screen?
I was there on set. You know,
we worked together.
We did work together. I was inside this big lycra muscle suit on stilts on the day, you know, and then the facial capture we would do separately, and Emma would come in and we would play scenes. Sometimes Luke and Kevin. We sadly didn't have any scenes together.
We'll save that for the sequel.
Sequel, right?
So when you were saying you saw the real person instead of the costume.
Yes, that's
exactly.
right.
And there was nothing interfering, and particularly for Emma and myself, you know, it's a romantic story, and you need that human connection, face to face, eye to eye. So there was no cameras dangling in the way. There was, you know, and also I wasn't behind a mask of any kind. It was my face and hers.
But it was so remarkable that even though I didn't have scenes with him, I would go on to set and watch him do his thing, because I was just like, it was like literally wearing spandex pajamas, running around on stilts, and I was like, I've never seen anything as complex and fascinating as what I'm watching right now. But it really was incredible to watch, because it's so foreign, it's so alien to have to do that. And I think when you see the film, the Beast is an extraordinary character. Luke and I keep saying to each other, we watch it, and the eyes, all of it is so...
The eyes and the mouth.
It's incredible.
You watch these lips and the personalities coming out. I can see Dan in the face so much. Not that you pout. You don't pout in real life as much as you do as the Beast, but there's a lot of pouting in that Beast.
There's a great movie. There's a great moment in the movie when you actually go, you do this thing that is, it kills me. And it's just such an extraordinary bit of the marriage between technology and acting, and bringing this character to life and making him feel, dare I say, human. You know, you're like, you really relate to the character in that moment. It's great.
The film's sort of taking place at quite an exciting time, really, where fairy tale is finally embracing, well, it's always embraced technology, but it continues to embrace the latest ways of telling stories. And I think that's, you know, they've been told in all their forms, books and black and white films and 3D, and now, no, it keeps changing, keeps evolving. But yeah, the sort of where you know, bringing computer technicians and animators and, you know, creative teams together to create something that hopefully has some sort of much more human characteristics than we're normally, you know, than we're used to seeing in these kind of creatures on screen. It's great.
So that way you wouldn't be very intimidated like the Beast has to be. So when you're fighting him, do you feel anything strange?
Well, I was just thinking then, as Dan was talking about, you know, he's having dots on his face, and it would be him, you know. And I remember him holding me over a precipice, a big drop below me, and he had the Beast's hand on, and he brings me into his face. And I have to be, at this point, we had no artist's impression of what the Beast's face looked like. I hadn't really seen an image of the Beast, so I'd created a scary image in my head, but I was actually looking into Dan's gorgeous, handsome face, you know.
It's the scariest face.
It's very hard to be terrified at that beautiful face, you know, and I look at him, but I had to do it, so that was probably the biggest acting job of my life.
Fortunately, Luke is a great actor.
Yeah, I was at that point, anyway.
Speaking of that, you've been in epic battles before for other films. Compared to musical, which one do you think is difficult?
Oh, well, they all come with their own challenges. I mean, with a musical film, which is the first time I've ever done one, I was very aware that a lot of the big musical numbers, like the opening sequence, the Bell song, and then the Mob song, and obviously the Gaston number, it's all timed. Once the music starts, there's no stopping. You have to keep going. So the rehearsal we had was super important, because, you know, there was a lot of choreography and being in the right place at the right time, movements, lifts, cameras, angles, and all of that stuff. It was very, very technical, and also you're doing it to a sound, to a song, you know. So that was really interesting. Very interesting exercise.
Since you're here and you are all good at singing, can you do acapellas with the lyric Beauty and the Beast to see who holds the longest breath?
Oh my.
There are so many parts of that question that I'm just trying to process. So you want us to sing Beauty and the Beast and hold it?
Beast.
Okay.
Yes, hold Beauty and the Beast. And
Take a
see
big breath
who
and-
can hold the longest breath.
On the final note?
Yes, it's the...
Okay.
Let's go.
Ready?
Is this gonna happen?
3, 2, 1.
Beauty and the
There you go.
Look at that.
He's still going.
I think I got 5 more minutes for the... The last question, the best reason to see Beauty and the Beast.
I think the best reason is
We're in it.
I think you're looking at it. No, I think
It's a.
I think that Beauty and the Beast is it's such an extraordinary story that stands the test of time. But this version of it is truly one of the most beautiful films I think I've ever seen, and there is not a moment in it that isn't spectacular, and that isn't as iconic. I hope and I believe as the original.